this is Phil from Race City Retro, and thank you for joining me and watching this video. I wanted to show you guys a little, I call it a fantasy build I had done a few years ago. I had a bunch of police parts kicking around, and I had some Georgia State Patrol State Trooper decals that I don't even remember where I got them from, to be honest with you. But I said, man, these things are cool. I got to build something with these. So I had a bunch of these Street Burner Challenger TA kits that I bought when Walmart was selling models years ago. They were blowing them out. I paid like $2 each. I bought like 10 of them. It was ridiculous how cheap they were. So I had a pile of them. So I said, I had always liked the Georgia State Patrol cars on my trips to Georgia. They had that beautiful blue color. I liked the door graphics on them, and they were pretty cool. And nowadays, they're actually using Challengers again. If you ever get the chance on YouTube, watch State Boys, B-O-Y-Z. It shows all of the Georgia State Patrol high-speed pursuits. Man, if anybody, I don't know why you would ever run on these guys. You want to talk about some amazing drivers in these Chargers and Challengers doing amazing things. Wow. But this is a fantasy build, and I had said, you know, what if the year was 1970 and the Georgia State Police went to Dodge and said, man, we need a weapon to catch these moonshiners, hot rodders, whatever, mainly moonshiners, kind of like that bad Georgia Road, you know, Dukes of Hazzard type deal. What do you got? We need a car that's fast. We need a car that handles. We need a car that can catch these guys in their modified cars. So I said, you know what? That would be a Challenger TA. Yeah, you got a Hemi car. Yeah, you got a 446 pack car, but the Challenger TA was designed for the road course. So, I mean, if you want to talk about a car that could do high-speed pursuits, hunt people down, had bigger brakes, had great handling, the Challenger TA, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it was one of the first cars ever from the factory that had a 14-inch front and a 15-inch rear tire. So it was really, in those days, that's how they set them up to handle. It was also one of the first with side exhaust from the factory. They had a fiberglass hood from the factory, so it was lightweight, it stopped good, it was fast, it would hustle. You can get in what I believe up to 391 gears in them, although these guys would probably want the lower gear to have those top end speeds. But I just wanted to do a quick, fun build, not no crazy. I wanted to look more used and weathered than like a glossy show car. I wanted something that looked like it's been in police service, but it had to have the goodies. It had to have the spotlight. It had to have the gumball, because that would be 1970 period correct. I painted the hood with some lacquer, and I didn't use lacquer prime on purpose because I want a little crazing on the hood to make it look like it's been sitting in that hot Georgia sun for a while. And underneath the hood, it's got the 346 pack engine. I just wired it with a simple distributor in it and just cleaned it up nice under there. I wrote Unit 255 on the air cleaner because a lot of the police fleet garages used to do stuff like that back in the day. Let me see if I can get this hood off. I'll give you a better look at it. I used to buy cars from the NYPD 70s Mopars, and they had the unit number written on everything. Valve covers, air cleaner, anything and everything under that hood. And in the door jambs, it all had the unit number on it. I guess they were worried about stuff getting lost. There's your engine scene. And NYPD even used to put little chains on the radiator cap, on the oil filler cap, on the master cylinder lid, so that the guys that just topped off all the fluids wouldn't lose the oil filler cap. It would just dangle on a valve cover bolt, and then they put it right back on. Same thing with the radiator cap. Same thing with the washer fluid. It had a little tiny chain in it that would chain it to the bottle so that it wouldn't fall off completely, because the tab would always crack. But I just did a little ignition wire on this, not super detailed. Like I said, I wanted it to be a fun build. I didn't want to go crazy with it. Up front, I did some red pullover lights and a push bar, because you got to get those guys to stop. So a little older style push bar, not like the modern ones of today. Around back, I did the CB antenna with the two deck mounted flashers Oh, I'm getting a little glare. Let me lift this for you. There you go. That would be like a pullover light. The bottom is just done to all stock. I should have put some Georgia clay or something on it, but I just did a typical stock Mopar build on the bottom with the factory overspray on it. 4-speed car. And then inside, it's got, let me get my big thumb out of there. It's got on the dash, the radar setup, the 2 boxes. It's got a CB next to the console, and it's got the pistol grip shifter. So that's so he could do his speed patrol. But like I said, I just want to do a quick fun build. I didn't want to make it too crazy. I did a little bare metal foil. I built it a while ago, this car. And what's ironic is now I love the Georgia State Patrol cars. Every time I go to Georgia, I look out for them because they're that brilliant blue that they use on everything. And back then, when I painted this, I said, it needs a pretty mundane blue. They would have never used anything like that brilliant blue in the 70s. That color almost looks like candy. And what's ironic is the current Dodge color of Frostbite, which Georgia State Patrol has a Challenger in. I'm going to put some pictures up of their current cars while you're watching this. Is almost the same exact color as this. So that's like an old, I meant to do that. No, I didn't mean to do that. It just lucked out that way. But there's my 70 Challenger TA. They got it from Dodge. They knocked the stripes, or it was a striped Elite car. They lettered it up, put it into service to chase down those moonshiners and speeders and bootleggers, just to even it up a little bit, because they were all driving their hot rods and modified cars. If you watch the movie Bad Georgia Road, you got some cool Mopars in that movie. And that's the movie I believe led to the story of the Dukes of Hazzard becoming a TV show. But this is a great kit, this 70 Dodge Challenger. If you're looking for like an early first build or something to build with a kid, I had this kit when it first came out, and Monogram made it then. And when these kits first came out, there was this kit, and there was the 69.5 Super B. They came out from Monogram with a metal flake body. This car was in red, like a dark red. The Super B was in blue. There was metal flake molded into the plastic, and they gave you a turtle wax in a wrapper pad that you had to wax the body when you first got it to get it to shine. And I specifically remember that. I think I even still have one of those kits sealed. It's in like almost like a candy apple red metal flake color. But this one, it's a 2-in-1 kit. You can build it as a hot rod, or you can build it all stock. I'll go through the kit with you now. That's the stock version. Looks good. Vitamin C orange. Or actually, that would be Go Mango on a Dodge. Yeah, Dodge and Plymouth differ. In Dodge, it's a 6-pack, 346 pack. Plymouth, it's a 6-barrel. And then with this kit, they give you the tunnel ram and the scoop, and they give you some centerline wheels if you want to make like a mild street machine out of it. But let me show you what comes with this kit. It's a pretty good kit. And like I said, pretty simplistic. It builds quick and easy. It's a great weekend build or a great first build. The decals are awesome. Let me flip that over. These I don't care for. That's the street machine goofy graphics. But lots of plates, including the Colorado Vanishing Point style license plates. You got all your underhood decals. Your Scat Pack Bs for the windows, the TA stripes, the Challenger TA spoiler logo, all the good stuff, everything that's needed. And then the kit itself is just a super clean, easy build. Let me show you this one. Everything comes wrapped. Glass, all wrapped, ready to go. Tires are just typical Monogram, molded one piece. And you'll notice as these kits get newer, they don't have any tire lettering on a lot of them because I guess they don't want to pay licensing to Goodyear. So these are just smoothies on both sides. And then there's your trim. You get the factory wheels as well as the centerline wheels. You get a tunnel ram with it. That's the only thing. The scoop is ridiculously big. It's not the right scale at all. Even the carbs look ridiculously big because if that's supposed to be a 14-inch wheel, look at the size of one of the carburetors. It's incredibly big. They also give you some velocity stacks, I guess, if you don't want that blower scoop. Pistol grip, chrome valve covers, which if you're building stock, they shouldn't be chrome. They should be engine color. And some nice center lines. So if you're building a stock, you got a nice set of wheels for your parts box for like a 70s street machine. Clean, nice, clean, not a lot of flash, real good kit. It's been around a long time, this kit, but it stayed nice. They've made a ton of them. There's been a bunch of different versions of this kit out. And then as far as, there's your tunnel ram. It's got the TA hood on it. Tunnel ram. Top and bottom. That's a spoiler, and that's not the TA spoiler. That's like an RT spoiler on that. The TA gets the chin spoiler on the back. That's the custom hood. I'm guessing it should have two hoods. Yeah, that's the custom hood. Well, that could be the TA hood. I'm sorry. Let's take a look. Interior cup. Nice detail. Beautiful. You know, this is a monogram kit. I know it says Revell on the box, but it's a monogram kit. But typical monogram detail. Look at the backs of the seats. Beautiful. Power brake booster, exhaust manifolds. You got your pulleys and belts. Look at that exhaust. Challenger, TA, and AAR CUDA. In the front, loops around, comes back out the front, and exits in front of the rear wheels. You got your sport mirrors with this. Really, really nice kit. You also see on the front, the TA had the chin spoilers, so it's got them molded right in. That's a nice feature. And then the chassis is just beautiful. The only thing you got to remember, too, when you build kits like this with that slit, to paint the bottom of your interior cup to match. But look at these door panels. I mean, they are perfect. If you look at a set of real Challenger door panels, that's exactly what they look like. Your 340 engine, fan, correct, vicious fan that would be on the motor. You got your radiator with shroud. I mean, just beautiful detail on the chassis, just like the way it would look new. Great, great kits. Like I said, this is a monogram kit. Monogram kits are always the best. They go together so easy. Everything's right on the money. Yeah, there's your TA hood. That's your TA hood with your scoop. There's your 6-pack intake, 6-pack air cleaner, 6-pack carbs. There's the front of your seats. Nice 2-piece dash, which is nice because you could paint the top as vinyl on these cars and the bottom is metal. So you could do those two different finishes to make it look correct like an original. There's your rear 8 3/4 rear, or what it came with these. Your front K-frame and suspension. And then I think I saw, yep, there's your rear spoiler. That's the correct TA spoiler on the back, which is like what a modern Challenger uses nowadays. And that's basically it for this kit. Like I said, very simplistic. It goes together super quick and easy. That's why I liked it. I just wanted to do like a nice, like a weekend quickie build, and it's been around a long time. It's been sitting on my shelf. I did a little flow paint with a Rapidograph pen, ink that is actually. Just cuts your panels, makes them look a little more three-dimensional. And there you go, 346-pack pistol grip 4-speed. That's better. There you go. Yeah, if you get a chance, check out those videos, State Boys with a Z, and you'll see the Georgia State Patrol in action. And man, don't ever run from those guys. They do not mess around, man. They do not mess around. But this pays homage to their current colors and their current graphics. Their graphics haven't changed in forever. I think they were using those same graphics since the 50s. Nothing's changed. So this is my fantasy Challenger TA special weapon Georgia State Patrol police car. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you coming along. Be sure to subscribe for future videos. There's the back. CB antenna. And now I know this is a 70. I do have the Mopar police wheels and dog dish on it. But in 1970, Mopar did not have the slotted wheels yet. Those didn't come out till, I think it was about 73 was the first year, 74, that Mopar started the slotted wheels with the drilled hubcaps. These hubcaps would be correct for 70, but those are actually Plymouth hubcaps. The Dodge hubcap should have the red line with the Fratzog logo in it. But this is a police car, so, you know, things change on it. But hope you dig it. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out our other videos also. And check out our website, racecityretro.com. We've got a ton of cool automotive stuff on there. It's a web store, actually, you could buy. So check it out. Thanks for coming along. Take care.